There's a ghost giving people nightmares in Norway. In a small village, people were suffering with insomnia. No one can get a good night's rest. Emma was one of these people. Every night she would go to bed and she would feel an overwhelming feeling that something was wrong, but all of these nights of no sleep kept getting to her, so she went to bed anyways. When she did, the air grew heavy and her dreams turned to nightmares. One night, the feeling in her room changed, and not in a good way. The shadows in her room started moving wildly, like they were dancing, and then it felt like a weight just pressed down on her chest, suffocating her. She tried to scream, but no sound would come out. Even though she couldn't scream, she started to freak out when she noticed something moving around in the corners of her room. Outside, the wind moved like crazy. It sounded like it was whispering something. Emma was in a state between sleep and waking up, but she was still dreaming. And these dreams were all dark visions of scary figures and her loved ones in danger. It felt very real, but she couldn't do anything about it. But as the dawn came, the heavy feeling on her chest went away. When it did, Emma gasped for air and her heart raced. She looked around and her room was calm. There were no more dancing shadows or weird figures in her corner. But the memory of her nightmares would always stay with her. Unfortunately, she wasn't the only one. Every night the village talked about their horrible nightmares and it just wouldn't stop. Everyone knew something was causing it, some spirit, but no one ever really saw the ghost. They could only feel it creeping up on them every night. A ghost of the night that fed on their fears, causing them to have these sleepless nights and horrible visions. The people in this village were just one of many that were being haunted by Mara. Mara is a ghost in Norwegian folklore known for her haunting presence. She is traditionally seen as a female spirit or demon who paralyzes people during their sleep. Mara normally takes the appearance of an old hag or witch with unkempt hair and glowing eyes. She is also believed to sit on the chests of sleeping people, causing them to suffocate. Mara's unique characteristics in mythology is her ability to alter reality within dreams. Encounters with her are often associated with vivid and terrifying nightmares. She was normally associated with sleep paralysis, something where people are conscious but unable to move, often experiencing some sort of hallucination. And the pressure she supposedly applies to her victim's chest led to the term malarate in Scandinavian, translating to night ride or riding by night. This concept influenced various cultures and is actually where we get the word nightmare in English. In addition, Mara was also believed to cause sudden deaths during sleep. Now, Mara's origins in Norwegian folklore can be traced back to Old Norse traditions, where she first appeared as an evil entity in ancient stories and myths. Initially, Mara was not just a specific character, but just a general term in Old Norse, referring to a spirit or demon causing nightmares and sleep paralysis. And then from there, the concept of Mara continued into the medieval ages with texts like the Grettis Saga and the Surgup. Over time, Mara's story evolved from this more broad concept to a more defined character in Scandinavian folklore. As stories and beliefs passed through generations, the details about Mara became more specific. She transformed from this abstract idea of a night demon into a more personalized figure. Mara's story absorbed various local beliefs and superstitions. As her story spread through Scandinavia, each place added its own details. In some areas, she was more like a witch or a hag, matching local fears about witches. In other places, she seemed more like a ghost, reflecting their cultural fears. Her story also mixed with other local legends. Sometimes Mara was linked to certain places or events, like festivals, or even to a specific family. But when Christianity grew in Scandinavia, Mara's character changed again. Now she was seen more like a demon. And hey, if you've made it through the video this far and you want to learn more about folklore from around the world, please go ahead and subscribe and press that like button, that really helps out a lot. Anyways, despite the fact that Mara's abilities can now be explained by sleep paralysis, Mara's story is still shared by mythology enthusiasts and her legend continues in contemporary culture. As a spirit associated with nightmares and sleep paralysis, she was a big source of fear for a good while. Mara's legend remains a part of Norway's cultural heritage, illustrating the lasting allure of ghosts and supernatural beings in the human imagination. But who knows, maybe we're wrong. Sleep paralysis is something that a lot of people like to tie into the supernatural. So don't worry, there's still a chance that there might be this witch ghost thing that's pressing down on your chest, making you have nightmares and feeding on your fears. Sweet dreams.